How certain are you that the powers that be think of COVID as some sort of rehearsal for the main event and are just waiting to clamp down again on ordinary people like you and I?
There are people on my Twitter feed who are convinced that COVID was pre-planned. I don't rule that out, but I think it's quite unlikely. You can't just organise these things. There can't be a little cabal in Geneva or wherever planning all these pieces on the chessboard. Now, there may have been some pre-planning, but I think it's unlikely. These things happen spontaneously. Mass delusions sort of take over when a population is sort of, for whatever reason, in a certain state, something comes along and triggers them to go to this hysteria state. Now, I think the circumstances were the Donald Trump presidency, okay, where the swamp just went absolutely mental about Donald Trump. Now, I think they hated. I mean, he brought world peace. He made the American economy boom, particularly for low-income earners. I don't know what more you want in a US president, but the swamp hated Trump so much because he defied the political class in that he just walked off Fifth Avenue and into the White House. You're not allowed to do that. You've got to become a congressman and a senator and a governor first, and you've got to be a vice president. You can't just be a plain citizen and walk off the street. I think that's why they hated Trump more than anything. So they hated Trump. They just tried to impeach him just before COVID started. The first impeachment failed badly. Okay, they had one Republican defect. They needed about 30 in the Senate. Okay, so they failed. And then, but yeah, every 3 days in the Trump presidency, there was this new crisis, you know, the invented crisis, you know, to create all these bombs going off around Trump. It was all made up, okay? And the poor guy couldn't even run as a president. But anyway, they were just in a frenzy all around the world, the left, to bring down Trump. And then a bad flu came along, which it obviously was, and they just made it 20 times worse than it was. And they freaked everybody out.
But they got a good taste for the power that it gave them, didn't they? Do you think they are waiting to do it all again?
Well, look, the thing is, I think it's, again, it would be a spontaneous thing, but there are, so I don't think that people are coordinating it, but I think there was 10% of people in this country and around, you know, other similar countries, 10% of people loved COVID. They loved it, and they loved being able to bully the dissenters like you and I and many other good people out there. And they just loved all this big state stuff. It was like a dream come true, and they were fanatical about enforcing COVID. So now that's not a lot of people, but that 10%, you know, these are people who are in important positions in, you know, academia and political parties, bureaucracy, media, of course. So they won't do it straight away. But yes, I'm absolutely convinced. Look, there is a rule about power that if someone's got the opportunity to use power, then at some point they will take that opportunity. Okay, so that we now know that the infrastructure is in place. We can create an alarm and people will go along with it. So yes, now we can break it, we can stop that cycle if we have a full reckoning hopefully through a parliamentary inquiry.
Indeed, well put, well put.